Hi, I'm Mark Snyder, the founder of QueerToday.com. My last name is Snyder. I grew up in Snyder County, Pennsylvania, and I went to West Snyder High School. As you can imagine, it was pretty rural. It was right in the middle of Pennsylvania, and my house was made out of a barn, and I lived deep in the woods on a mountain. True. And as you can imagine, being feminine and gender variant, I knew that I was different at a very young age. And as soon as high school hit, seventh grade where I'm from, the older kids started calling me faggot. Well, day after day, things escalated. They pushed me into my locker. They gave me black eyes. I gave them black eyes. I had detention. They had detention. I was mock raped. My gym clothes were urinated on. I was threatened with weapons in school. I had death threats on my desks carved in. My projects were vandalized in the hall display case. Day after day, the taunts got worse and worse. I can remember every day when I would ride the bus to school, how as each person got on the bus, I felt more alone. And at the end of the day, as each person got off the bus, I felt safer. One day in ninth grade, I got to the bottom of the mountain that I lived on. My dad had forgotten to pick me up, um, as he often did. And I remember kind of in a daze walking up the hill to my house, and no one was home. And I walked into the house, and I walked up the stairs, and I walked into my parents' bedroom. And on the top shelf of my dad's side of the closet, there was a little box. And in that box, there was a black pistol. I put the golden bullets in that pistol, and I sat on the edge of my parents' bed. And I held that gun to the side of my head for probably a half an hour. And I remember thinking, God, I'm such a chicken for not pulling that trigger. I remember thinking that I was weak for not being brave enough to end my life. And I remember thinking about how it would hurt my family and my few friends. And I remember thinking, what if I mess it up and I still live a suffering life even worse? Well, I chickened out, and a few days later I told my parents I was quitting school as soon as I turned 16. They didn't like that. And they didn't like the school I was going to because um, it didn't offer the best educational opportunities. So I was lucky and fortunate enough to have parents who helped me switch high schools. And I went to a school an hour away in a bigger town. Even in the new school, though, the kids were pushing me into my locker. The kids were making fun of me during class. Gym class, of course, was the worst. And I still got death threats on the windshield wiper of my car, and so on and so on. And I decided I was going to go to college early. So I wrote a big essay to Emerson College in Boston, and I said, I'm getting called faggot every day, and this is what I'm trying to do about it. I'm writing letters to my local newspaper. I'm trying to talk to the few people who seem like they might be allies. I'm trying to make a difference, but I'm not safe, and I want to come to college. Well, Emerson College accepted me, and I was so lucky to be able to complete my senior year of high school with my freshman year of college. Once I was in Boston, I found the Boston Alliance of Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender Youth. They taught me to share my story, to be an activist. They taught me why it was important to fight against racism and fight for social justice alongside LGBTQ liberation. And through Bagley and PFLAG and through other organizations, I began to share my story in high schools all across Massachusetts. And every time I share my story, I felt more empowered, and I knew that I was changing the lives of people that were sitting right in front of me. I saw jocks in the back of the classrooms making fun of me in the beginning of my story, and at the end they were coming up to me, giving me a high five, thanking me for my bravery. So my message to you is, It might get better. It does get better if you work hard, if you find your allies. If you're watching this video, there are millions of resources and millions of people online right now that you can connect with. I know for me, without the internet, I don't know if I would have made it because that's how I found out there were other people like me out there. So continue to find allies online. Find groups like Facebook. Find organization on Facebook and find organizations like the Trevor Project and Bagley and Glisten. And I urge you to not just struggle through school, but to find people to connect with and to help you make a difference and to fight to make your community a better place for LGBTQ youth. You know, my dad is in jail and he's coming out of the closet as gay now too. Like a lot of families, my parents divorced, and now I'm in the unique position of supporting my dad in coming out as gay through letters from jail. And ironically, he was arrested in a police sting against men who were paying for sex with other men. You know, the reason why my dad is in jail, and the reason why I suffered the way I did in high school, and the reason why kids today are killing themselves is all connected. It's all homophobia and discrimination and oppression. And we all have to work together to fight against it so that it will get better for everybody.